Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani and this is the video number 28, and in this video I will be explain NCERT textual questions of chapter number 9 hydrogen. So question number first, justify the position of hydrogen in the periodic table on the basis of its electronic configuration. So position of the hydrogen in the periodic table, it is the first element of the periodic table and its electronic configuration 1s1. Okay, so similar properties, one hand from alkali metals and second hand its similar properties like halogen. Okay, so it is a placed first group, it is a similar as a first group and it is a belonging to also 17th group. Hydrogen complete its noble gas configuration whenever only hydrogen one electron and except one electron. So gain one electron, so consider as a duplet. So reassembles to alkali metal, lost one electron, so form unipositive, as well as with halogen which gain one electron, so to form uninegative. So like alkali metal, hydrogen form oxides, halides and sulfides. And then unlike alkali metals, it has high ionization enthalpy, does not possess metallic character under normal condition. Okay. And then its similar properties like halogen, it forms a diatomic molecules and combined with elements to form hydrides and a large number of covalent compounds. Okay, and its reactivity low than halogen. So hydrogen unique behavior and base placed separately in the periodic table. Question number second, write the names of the isotopes of hydrogen and what is the mass ratio of these isotopes. Names of the isotopes and the mass ratio of these isotopes. So isotopes of hydrogen, there are three types: protium, deuterium and tritium. Protium is 1H1 and deuterium 1H2, also indicate by capital D, and tritium 1H3, also indicate by capital T. So these isotopes differ in the presence of the neutron. Protium has no neutron, deuterium has 2 neutron and protium has 0 neutron, no neutron, and deuterium has 1 neutron and tritium has 2 neutron. So 1H1, it is a predominant form, 1H2 terrestrial hydrogen and 1H3 radioactive emitters. So it is considered as a radioactive. So its mass ratio, atomic mass is 1, so 1, atomic mass is 2, so 2, and atomic mass is 3, so 3. So 1 ratio 2 ratio 3. So mass ratio of isotopes, names of isotopes 1H1, 1H2, 1H3, protium, deuterium and tritium, and mass ratio 1 ratio 2 ratio 3. Question number third, why does hydrogen occur in a diatomic form rather than in a monatomic form under normal condition? So you already know electronic configuration of hydrogen atom is 1s. Okay, so only one electron gain, so to give a stable inert gas configuration of helium 1s2. So therefore it share its single electron with other hydrogen atom and to form a covalent bond and forming H2 molecules. Okay, under normal condition because it is stabilized. Okay, so electronic configuration of hydrogen 1s1 and it is short of only one electron to give a stable inert gas configuration of helium 1s2. So it share its single electron with other hydrogen atom and to form a covalent bond forming H2 molecule. Then question number 4, how can the production of dihydrogen obtained from Cole gasification be increased? Cole gasification, you already know. The process of production of syngas from Cole is called Cole gasification. Syngas, that is means carbon monoxide gas and H2 gas mixture. This is the syngas. So production of the syngas from coal is called coal gasification, and this reaction happen at 1270 Kelvin temperature. So carbon solid coal react with water, so at the temperature 1270 Kelvin, so convert into the CO gas and hydrogen gas. It is a syngas. Okay, and then syngas, carbon monoxide gas in the presence of the water vapor, steam, okay, at the temperature 673 Kelvin, and we have to use catalyst iron chromate. So carbon monoxide gas convert into the carbon dioxide and water convert into the hydrogen gas. So this is called water gas shift reaction. Okay, so this is the called water gas shift reaction. But here CO2 gas removed by scrubbing with sodium arsenide solution. Okay, but production of hydrogen, here obtain product hydrogen, so increase by reacting carbon monoxide of syngas with steam. So hydrogen gas again obtain. Okay, so 18% from coal, and then 4% from electrolysis of aqueous solution, and 1% from other sources. So coal gasification, production of syngas from coal is called coal gasification at 1270 Kelvin temperature. But increase the amount of hydrogen gas, so CO gas react with steam at the temperature 673 Kelvin and iron chromate catalyst. So convert into the carbon dioxide and then hydrogen. So hydrogen amount, production of hydrogen gas increased. Okay. Question number 5. Describe the bulk preparation of dihydrogen by electrolytic method and what is the role and electrolyte in the process. So electrolytic method of formation preparation of hydrogen, it is a commercial production. So acidified water we have to take, water liquid will take, and electrolysis of water use platinum electrode, otherwise traces of acid and base. Okay, so traces of acid and base we have to take and use platinum electrode. So high purity of hydrogen and oxygen gas obtain. Okay, so what is the role of the electrolyte? That is means electrolyte we have to use. So high purity of the hydrogen obtain, hydrogen gas obtain. Okay, see, at cathode H plus ion gain electron, so H, and this H again react with H, so hydrogen gas obtain at cathode. And at anode basic medium, so 4OH minus ion convert into the loss of electron and then 4OH, and these 4OH convert into the 2 water molecule and then oxygen gas. So hydrogen gas obtained at cathode and oxygen gas obtained at anode. So commercial product, this is the use. Okay, so this is the bulk preparation of the dihydrogen by electrolytic method. Okay. Question number 6. Complete the following reaction. So here you given H2 hydrogen gas react with metallic oxide and heat. So which product are formed? So here you see hydrogen react with oxygen. So water are formed. So hydrogen react with oxygen. So water are formed H2O. Here oxygen given O, small o. So here hydrogen we write small o. So small o H2 react with O, small o. So small o H2O gas form and capital M obtained, replace small m capital M solid. Then question number 2. CO gas react with H2 gas, carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas in heat and then catalyst. So you already known about carbon monoxide react with hydrogen, so methanol are formed. So here 2H2. Okay. Then third C3H8 gas and 3H2O gas. So hydrocarbon react with water, so carbon monoxide and hydrogen form. So balance the reaction. Here carbon 3. So 3 water molecules, so carbon monoxide 3 and then 7H2O. Here 8 and 6, 14. So 7H2. Then zinc react with NaOH by heating. So zinc react with NaOH, so sodium zincate are formed, Na2ZnO2. So here 2Na. So here written 2NaOH. So 2NaOH react with zinc. So Na2Zn O2, sodium zincate are formed and hydrogen gas evolve. Question number 7. Discuss the consequences of high enthalpy of hydrogen-hydrogen bond in terms of chemical reactivity of dihydrogen. Discuss the consequence of high enthalpy of hydrogen-hydrogen bond in terms of chemical reactivity of dihydrogen. So high enthalpy of dihydrogen, H bond makes H2 gas and inert or unreactive at room temperature. Okay, so at high temperature it reacts with many metals and non-metals alike. Like hydrogen is stable way, H2. So at the high temperature, like we take 2000 Kelvin temperature, so hydrogen gas convert into the atomic gas, H gas plus H gas, but approximately obtain 0.081%. But when at temperature 5000 Kelvin temperature, so 95.5% is obtained. And reason, because bond dissociation enthalpy high, delta H is equal to 435.9 kilojoule per mole inverse, so hydrogen gas inert. Okay, so high enthalpy, so due to reason it is a inert or unreactive at room temperature and only reactive at high temperature. Then question number 8. What do you understand by electron deficient, electron precise, electron rich compounds of hydrogen? So difference between electron deficient, electron precise and electron rich hydrides. So first you see electron deficient. Electron deficient, those compounds have too few electrons for writing chemical formula. It's conventional Lewis structure. Like group 13. So only for B2H6 diboron like example. So B boron 13 group. So for accept electron 3 because complete the octet. Okay, so BH3, so one boron react with 3, so octet complete. Okay, then carbon electron precise, so those compounds have required number of electron like carbon 14 group of element, so carbon required 4 octet complete. How many electrons required? 4. So 4 electron required, so that is means it is a tetrahedral and required number of electrons, that is normal, and deficient, that is means too few electrons. Okay, those compounds have too few electrons, so it is accept. Electron rich, excess electron which are present as a lone pair, those compound which is excess electron and which are present as lone pair, and its example group 15 to 17. Okay, so like example ammonia 1 lone pair, ammonia, nitrogen have 1 lone pair, in water oxygen have 2 lone pair and HF 3 lone pair. Okay, and behavior is Lewis base, electron donor. So this is the main difference between electron deficient, electron precise and electron rich. Those compounds have too few electrons, electron precise required number of electron, and electron rich excess electron which are present as lone pair. Example of electron deficient B2H6 diboron, electron precise methane, and electron rich ammonia, water and HF. What characteristics, question number 9, what characteristic do you expect from an electron deficient hydride with respect to its structure and chemical reaction? So electron deficient hydrides, especially group 13, like boron and aluminium. So boron form BH3 and aluminium form AlS3. So cannot exit as such because they do not have sufficient electron to form required number of covalent bond in order to satisfy octet rule. So such hydrides exist in polymeric forms like B2H6, B4H10, AlS3 So these structural features are quite unique. And for B2H6, 2 boron atoms are linked by 2 hydrogen atoms acting as a bridge atoms and BH3. So 2 B2H6. So these hydrates are very reactive towards matters, non-matters and their compound also. Example B2H6, because here question is given with respect to its structure and chemical reaction. So structure based, it is exit in the polymeric forms. Reason, because it do not have sufficient electron to form required number of covalent bonds in order to satisfy octet rule. Then chemical based, so B2H6 react with oxygen, so formation oxide form B2O3, and B2H6 react with sodium hydride, so it is formed complex way Na plus BH4 minus. B2H6 react with N-amine-3 trimethylamine. So trimethylamine, so this is nitrogen given lone pair to the BH3, so BH3 and Ame-3. So this is the 3 chemical reaction. Then question number 10. Do you expect the carbon hydrides of the type CnH2n plus 2 to act as a Lewis acid or base? So for justify your answer, again I say, do you expect the carbon hydrides of the type CnH2n plus 2 to act as Lewis acid or base? So C. For any compound Lewis acid, its central atom acid. Okay, so must have vacant orbital in the valence shell, and Lewis base central atom should be able to donate a pair of electrons. So one have less electron and another have required number of electron. So like we take example carbon hydride like C4H2n plus 2. So example CH4, C2H6. So octet of carbon atom is complete and their structure reveals that carbon atom have neither vacant orbital and no unpaired electron. It is only for shear. So these are electron precise hydrides. That is means required number of electrons. Okay, so these hydrides do not act as Lewis acids or bases. Clear? So do you expect the carbon hydrides of the type to act as Lewis acid or base? No, because in carbon hydride octet of carbon atom complete because neither vacant orbital nor unpaired electron. Okay, so it is a electron precise hydride or its electron share. So with hydrogen, so it is easily form covalent bond. Question number 11. What do you understand by the term non-stoichiometric hydrides, and do you expect this type of the hydrides to be formed by alkali metals? So non-stoichiometric hydrides, and you already know non-stoichiometric hydrides are formed by D and F block elements. Okay, and when hydrogen atoms are trapped in the lattice hole of the elements, so when some lattice hole remain unoccupied, so the hydrides are termed as non-stoichiometric halides, and then metal to the ratio is not stoichiometric. See LaH 2.76, unlike NaH. Where is it? It is 1:1. Okay, alkali metals are highly electropositive, and but with hydrogen they form ionic hydrides M plus H minus by transferring their valence electron to hydrogen, and their combining ratio is always 1:1. Do not form non-stoichiometric hydrides. Okay, so what do you understand by non-stoichiometric hydrides? Non-stoichiometric hydrides formed by D and F block elements, and whenever hydrogen atoms trapped in the lattice hole of the element, and when some holes remains unoccupied, so it is known as non-stoichiometric. Okay. Question number 12. How do you expect metallic hydrides to be useful for hydrogen storage? How do you expect the metallic hydrides to be useful for hydrogen storage? So see, some metals like palladium, platinum have tendency to absorb very large volume of hydrogen, like palladium and platinum. Some metals have tendency to absorb very large volume of hydrogen, so it is used in storage, and it has high potential. Okay, which property of metallic hydrides? High potential. So this property has high potential for hydrogen storage. Then question number 13th. How does the atomic hydrogen or oxyhydrogen torch function for cutting and welding purpose? So you know hydrogen gas, it is easily dissociated into atomic hydrogen by using electric arc, temperature 3773 Kelvin. So electric arc we have to use. So hydrogen gas in dissociate into atomic hydrogen. And the lifetime of the atomic hydrogen is about 0.3 second. Lifetime of the atomic hydrogen is about 0.3 second. And when it reconverts into molecular hydrogen, so huge amount of heat energy is liberated, and which is used for cutting and welding purpose. So in welding and purpose we have to use atomic hydrogen, and whenever we have to use atomic hydrogen and it is reconverts into molecular hydrogen, so huge amount of heat energy is liberated, which is used for cutting and welding purpose. In the oxyhydrogen torch, oxygen and hydrogen gases are ignited as done in gas welding torches, producing a flame of very high temperature. So hydrogen gas react with O2 gas, so convert into the H2O gas and heat evolve. So oxyhydrogen torch that is means oxygen react with hydrogen, then formation H2O gas, it is known as oxyhydrogen, and then ignition as done in the gas welding torches, producing a flame of very high temperature. Question number 14th. Among NH3, H2O, HF, which would you expect to have highest magnitude of hydrogen bonding and why? Ammonia, water and HF. Highest magnitude of hydrogen bonding. First you see structure. NH3. This is the NH3 structure and this is the NH3. Nitrogen have hydrogen. It is make bond through next ammonia molecule nitrogen. So nitrogen bond make to hydrogen. So nitrogen attract the electron. So electronegative charge appear on the nitrogen and electropositive charge appear at hydrogen. Bond form between nitrogen and hydrogen. Okay. So and water also, see H2O. So oxygen electronegative and then other water molecule hydrogen. So one molecule have oxygen and second hydrogen make the bond. Okay. So negative charge appear on oxygen and positive charge appear on hydrogen. Same hydrogen fluoride HF. So here you see fluorine electronegative, so attract electrons. So electronegative charge appear on fluorine and positive charge appear on hydrogen. Here hydrogen. Okay. So all the three molecules have intermolecular hydrogen bonding due to the formation of dipoles between hydrogen atoms. Nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine atoms more electronegative than hydrogen. So themselves the order of electronegative, fluorine highest, oxygen then nitrogen, and fluorine will thus form stronger hydrogen bonds comparison than reason electronegativity because the dipole HF, and will be the strongest in the comparison OH and NH. Clear? So in three molecules HF is form strongest hydrogen bonding, so it have highest magnitude. Clear? Question number 15. Saline hydrides are known to react with water violently producing fire and can CO2. A well-known fire extinguisher will be used in this case. Saline hydrides are known to react with water violently and produce fire. So can CO2 a well-known fire extinguisher? So C, saline hydrides, that is means NaH, otherwise calcium hydride. So with react with water exothermally, that is means energy evolve. So NaH react with water, so formation sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas evolve. Calcium hydroxide react with water, so calcium hydroxide form calcium hydride. Okay, calcium hydroxide form and hydrogen gas evolve. So heat high produce is enough to ignite hydrogen gas. So the fire so produced cannot be extinguished by CO2. So the fire so produced cannot be extinguished by CO2 gas, since any unreacted saline hydride will combine with CO2 gas. So CO2 gas react with saline hydride, NaH react with CO2 gas, so formation sodium formate, HCOO, sodium formate are formed. So fire so produced cannot be extinguished by CO2 gas, since any unreacted saline hydride will combine with CO2 gas. Okay. So in this case, sand may be used in the place of the CO2 gas. Clear? Because saline hydride react with CO2 gas and sodium formate are formed. So in this case, we have to use sand. Clear? Then question number 16. Arrange the following. Calcium hydride, question number first of 16th. Calcium hydride, beryllium hydride, titanium hydride in order of increasing electrical conductance. So here you see first order of the increasing electrical conductance: beryllium hydride, calcium hydrides and titanium hydride. Beryllium hydride form covalent hydride, calcium hydride saline hydride, but titanium hydride conduct electricity at room temperature. Okay, and calcium hydride is saline hydride but conduct electricity in fused and molten state. Okay, so this is the sequence: increasing electrical conductance. So titanium hydrides easily conduct electricity even at room temperature. Clear? Then second one, lithium hydride, sodium hydride and cesium hydride in order of increasing ionic character. So increasing ionic character, lithium hydride, then sodium hydride and then cesium hydride. So cesium hydride is greater ionic character comparison than sodium and lithium. So reason, due to the decrease the electronegativity. Okay, so reason, due to the decrease electronegativity from group lithium to cesium. Then question number third, HH, DD, HH hydrogen, DD deuterium and FF fluorine in order of increasing bond dissociation enthalpy. Okay. So the increased order of bond dissociation enthalpy, see, so bond dissociation enthalpy of deuterium is high because it is a heavy molecule. So heavy molecule is more than that of hydrogen molecule. So because of the smaller size of D comparison than hydrogen. And but in fluorine molecule, lone pair. See, fluorine have 3 lone pair and also 3 lone pair. So it is a repulsion. So makes the dissociation enthalpy less. Clear? So bond dissociation enthalpy of D2 molecule is more than that of hydrogen molecule because it's a smaller size, so its dissociation enthalpy is greater than hydrogen. And in fluorine molecule, lone pair and lone pair repulsion, so makes the dissociation enthalpy less. Then question number 4, reducing power sequence. In NaH, magnesium hydride and water. So sodium hydride is greater. Reason is sodium hydride is ionic or saline hydride, so it is a stronger reducing agent, while magnesium hydride and water, it is a covalent hydride, so it is a more covalent and possesses higher dissociation enthalpy, but stronger reducing agent NaH. Then question number 17, compare the structure of water and hydrogen peroxide. See, first structure you have to see water, HOH. It is a band structure and HOH, it is a dipole structure. So oxygen between HOH 104.5 degree and then OH bond length 95.7. So in the gas phase, band structure of water, and then bond angle 104.5 degree, and OH bond length is 95.7 picometer, and highly polar molecule because oxygen attract electron both of side hydrogen, so 2 delta negative charge appear on oxygen and delta positive charge appear at hydrogen. Next we have to see structure of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide structure in gas phase you see HOOH. So it is a form dihedral angle. Here you see this way, planar type, see dihedral angle 111.5 degree, and oxygen between length 147.5 picometer, and then OOH 94.8 degree, and OH 95 picometer. So this is the difference between the between the structure of hydrogen peroxide and water. Okay. So next topic, next questions I will be explain in next video. Thank you so much.